This update is brought to you by the Hills Observer. We're a citizen-run initiative, and our whole goal is to bring some transparency to what's happening in our local government. Just to be clear, we are not affiliated with the city, the MUD, or the POA. We're just your neighbors. If you want to stay in the loop, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow so more residents in the Hills can see what's going on. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start with a situation that, frankly, just shouldn't be possible. It's a classic case that really makes you wonder how our local governing bodies are working together. Or in this case, maybe how they're not. It sounds like some kind of bureaucratic riddle, right? But believe it or not, this is exactly what's happening right here in the Hills. And it all came to a head in the March 26th special council meeting. So here's the core of the issue, and it's a real doozy. There's one part of the city ordinance that says if the POA's architectural committee gives a project the green light, then the city has to issue a zoning permit. It's supposed to be automatic. See the problem? The POA can approve something that the city's own rules explicitly prohibit. It's a massive contradiction, and it has left one family and, honestly, the city council itself in a really tough spot. And look, this isn't just about some dry legal text. This whole mess has real and very expensive consequences for some of your neighbors. During that meeting on March 26th, a resident named Kevin Young came up to the microphone and explained just how this zoning conflict completely derailed his family's plans. I mean, look at this. They did everything you're supposed to do. They bought a house, planning to build a small home for his mother-in-law. They spent a lot of money on the plans. They even got the POA's sign-off, only to hit a brick wall at the city because of a legal contradiction they couldn't have possibly known about. And this is the number that just makes you wince: $20,000. That's what the Young family has already sunk into architects and engineers for a project that is now just stuck in total limbo. You could really hear the frustration in his voice. His comment just perfectly highlights a total breakdown in the system, where different governing bodies weren't on the same page, and a family got caught in the crossfire. So you have to ask, how on earth did we get here? Well, it all comes down to two powerful groups with overlapping and, in this case, conflicting responsibilities. Okay, the easiest way to think about it is this. The city is in charge of the big legal questions, like what you're allowed to build and where. The POA's committee, on the other hand, deals with the details of how it should look, so it fits in with the neighborhood. The whole system breaks down when their rulebooks say two different things. And you know, a council member made it really clear during the meeting that they never intended for the city to get into the weeds of architectural reviews. The whole idea was for the POA to keep handling all of that. But then came the big twist. It turns out the POA's own rulebook is, and this is a direct quote, completely silent on enclosed secondary structures like ADUs. So they've got rules for gazebos, but not for this. The city can't possibly adopt the POA's standards if, for this specific thing, written standards don't even exist. So, with this absolute mess on their hands, the council and their attorney started kicking around ideas for a potential fix to get things back on some kind of track. The idea they landed on is something called a conditional use permit. Basically, it creates a special exception. It would allow something like an ADU, but, and this is the key part, only after it goes through an extra layer of city council approval. Right, the city attorney called it a speed bump. It's not a hard stop, but it forces everyone to pause. This would give the city council that final check-in, making sure any ADU project actually fits with citywide goals for density and things like that, instead of just giving the POA automatic power to approve whatever they want. So after all that talk, the legal mess, the family situation, the possible fix, what was the final decision? What did they do? Well, take a look at the timeline from that morning. They talked about it, they heard from Mr. Young, then they went into a private session with their lawyer for almost a solid hour, only to come back out and adjourn the meeting. That's it. No action taken, no decision made. And that's the bottom line. As of right now, absolutely nothing has changed. The conflict in the city code is still there, and the Young Families Project is still caught right in the middle of it, just waiting for the council to figure out what to do next. This whole situation really leaves us with a fundamental question, but it also points to a much bigger one for our community. Are our governing bodies, the city and the POA, actually working together effectively? This is the kind of stuff the Hills Observer digs into, the things that directly affect your taxes, your neighborhood, and your quality of life. Help us keep a spotlight on these important issues. Go ahead and subscribe and share this with a neighbor because an informed community is always a stronger community.